Good morning, it's Jonathan Barratt with the morning debrief. It's the 22nd of October. The current time is 7:46. The Dow's been closed for 3/4 of an hour. Commodities tumble. US stocks a little bit better bid, and US dollar bid. So that's pretty much the summary this morning. And we'll probably expect our local market to open up relatively flat. With only a little bit of small change movement last night in our local markets. But I think given what's happened in China yesterday, given what's happened in the US dollar, I've been talking about correction in commodities for quite some time, and I think we had it with certainly having it or in the process of having it. Prices certainly are not going to new highs. They're actually consolidating, and I think that's a very good thing. Let's have a little bit of a wrap before we go, before we move on. Just have a look at just a few things, and let's have a look here. Where are we? And that's what I want. Okay, let's just come up and just a little bit of a wrap there, overview. Okay, the Dow, as we mentioned, was up. Managed to close up 38 points at 11,146. We did have some positive jobless claims data last night, and that helped, and also some relatively steady to firmer profit forecasts, and I think that certainly helped the market trade a little bit higher. Dow was up, the S&P was up, Nasdaq was up, Euro was up 30. FTSE did well, up 28 points, and the CAC was up 50, and the DAX was up 86. Really glad to see that FTSE up. Obviously, that austerity program, or the measures which were put in place by the Conservative government just the other day, seems to be creating a lot of concern out there, and we're expecting to see some graphic shots in terms of protests. But so far, the market seems to be relatively positive in terms of what's come from there. So quite happy on that front. Okay, quite happy on the fact that the FTSE is holding up okay, and let's see from there. Okay, so the local market seems to be okay. There we go. The futures SPY closed up 4 points, 4,634. Everyone knows I'm looking for that 47.20 is the key for me in terms of onwards and upwards. Okay, let's have a look at the trader, and let's have a look at the US dollar. I think that's going to be quite interesting. And just give us a bit of a clue as to what's tickling on there. Now that's the big picture for the dollar index, and as you can see, it's sort of found a little bit low. They were the comments from Geithner, which caused the first round of profit taking. This momentum indicator looks quite good, so I think that we do have quite an important low down here. So we can oscillate here for some time. If this is a correction of that move, to that move, then we've got to look at US 80 as a minimum. So that's what I'm actually looking at, and quite a long US dollars. Let's have a quick look at that Aussie too, because here we can see this area here. This is a diverging market. Look at it, just from here to here. The peaks here are getting lower, but they're getting higher. This suggests that you can look forward to a move back to US 93, US 90 certainly on the cards. We've really got to ask ourselves what's going to push it through the top side. And at the moment, I don't see too much out there. Okay, let's have a look at some of the commodities. Crude, 80.70, and going sideways. Not really in a position to say that we're going to break through 85, but if anything here, still consolidating. Keep an eye on that low through 79. Break through that sends it back to US $70 a barrel. Having a look at copper. Copper came off just a little bit. Once again, right on that high there. A little bit of divergence here as well, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a big short sharp sell-off there in copper over the next coming week, and that's what we'll have to keep an eye on that one. Gold 13.25, big fall last night. Once again, seeing that diverging market. Perhaps it's already now, and probably see things start to come under pressure. And as I've said, throughout this week on a lot of the programs, break back down to that 13.20 was on the cards. We reached it last night, and expectations are for it to continue to trade lower. On the local front, here we are just tracking sideways, quite a frustrating market, and I think given that we're still within those ranges, 4,600 on the downside, let's see if it breaks. It doesn't look that solid, and we're not moving on, even though the US and other markets are moving higher. We're stalling, and I think that to me is a concern, because if China starts to cool, we'll cool with China. So I think we're in the same bandwagon there. So just be careful there, nothing too flash there. Looking at the Dow, 11,074. Very hard either way to trade it, but the mere fact that we had a good attempt at a new high and then came back, in my mind, suggests that, well, if we take out the lower end of the range, which is at 10,860, then I would be a little bit concerned and probably look for quite a deep correction on that. Okay, now that's pretty much of the major things last night that we're looking at. I'm just looking if there's anything I can look there. No, that's probably about it. But on the economic front, I guess the big thing out tonight is the German IFO business climate out of Europe. That'll be very important. We've got import-export prices in Australia, CPI in Canada, but there's not a lot in the States. Baker Hughes rig count, and we've got one of the Fed governors talking on regulatory reform. So there's probably not a lot to get our teeth into tonight, but I want to just continue with those themes. And the quantitative easing theme, in my mind, is not working. It is not stimulating the economy as much as we need, and I think that's a result of the stimulus causing a weaker dollar artificially keeping commodity prices higher. Commodity prices therefore can't clear, and as a result of that you see a build in inventories. And that build in inventories should be used, but it's not, as the case with oil, where we just continue to see these builds occur. The only thing that I think could change that is a perhaps strengthening dollar, or we get clear indications that the economy is moving. But at the moment, IP last in the US wasn't that crash hot, so it seems to me the QE2, when it comes, what it is might not do the effect, but I think they'll have more effect if they adopt a neutral stance on the dollar, and profit taken in the dollar could see it back up to US 80. So that's about it from me. I hope everyone has a great day, and we'll try and talk to you tomorrow. Bye for now.